Nobody expected this team to be a cup contender.
Right.
So it's not so much the losses. And if you're so inclined, you can be like, losses are actually good. Like we're going to get a high draft pick. That's cool. And maybe that's the way this works out. But in your year 3 of Tortorella, I just expect the defense to be tighter. I expect it to look. I know Nick Seeler is missing.
Jeez,
this week, I'm not going to turn him like we did. Like, oh, I guess Matt Niskanen is just like the greatest player in the league. Like we like Nick Seeler a lot. I'm a Nick Seeler fan. He's got a great story. I'm glad he's here. He's a nice player to have. He's not winning a Norris Trophy anytime. He's not the MV freaking P of the team.
Seriously, dude.
Like, I'm not going to put it all on that, but he is out. Like, I expect the execution to be better than it was to end last season. And outside of Sam Ersson looking like a competent NHL goaltender and the power play with the addition of Matvei Michkov being not the worst thing I've ever seen, there are no differences from the way the season ended last year. Mm-hmm. And that's disheartening because, yeah, I know this is a rebuild. And again, it's not so much about losses, but like you get shut out in your home opener, man. Come on. That can't happen. Mm-mm. People pay good money to go see this game. There is a buzz about this team. How long it lasts is up to them now. Yeah. And I'm going to bring this up because I got more than one tweet. Like, I got multiple tweets about the coach. I got multiple tweets about how much of this is on John Tortorella.
I saw it.
What I will say is that this is the first time they've been shut out in a home opener since 1999, they said on the broadcast. The Ottawa Senators, who were an awesome defensive team at that time.
Yeah.
They were the New Jersey Devils, basically. Okay. They come into the home opener 1-2-1, so they're 1-3-1 now. They were being outscored 18-13. So now it's quick math, 21-13, -8. Not great. In 2013-14, the Flyers fired Peter Laviolette after an 0-3 start. Mm-hmm. They got outscored 9-3. It's -6 in those 3 games. I'm not like saying that this should happen or it's going to happen. I'm just saying from here now, okay, they have 2 days off. They don't travel.
Right.
Their next game is Tuesday, the 22nd, home against Washington. The following day, they have to go down to Washington. Not exactly a trip that takes a lot out of you. Got to go down 95. I think they take like a train that's like nicer than most houses. Then after Washington, they've got a couple more at home. Then they go to Boston. They're home for a few more. They don't leave the Eastern time zone until the end of next month. The end of like the last week of November is the next time they're not at home or somewhere where the travel is not arduous.
Okay.
From here, I need to see more. Like, I'm going to reserve my opinion on Torts and his message still resonating, and maybe they're like, Sean Couturier starts the game on the 4th line left wing tonight. Maybe little things like that are wearing on these guys, but I'm not going to make that judgment until after Tuesday and seeing what this team does once things are normal. I will retroactively accept the excuse of how weird the start of this season was if they normalize from here. But I'm not even saying go on a 5-game winning streak or anything.
Right.
Again, this is a rebuilding team, and we all know that. But I need them to be tighter in the D zone. They need to stop missing the net with more than half their attempts. They need to win more faceoffs. They need to start faster. They need to be more physical and not take a bunch of penalties, a bunch of lazy stick penalties. You get called for a roughing like Hathaway did in between periods, and it's like it was a scrum and they only took one guy. All right. You're a little aggressive and maybe you hit a guy when you shouldn't have. And like the hit on Michkov the other night where it was like, that should have been boarding probably. Like, fine. You take those sorts of penalties. You take a penalty to prevent a goal. So be it. I am seeing so many of these penalties that are just bad stick penalties. Tonight, Hathaway gets 3. He had all 3 of the Flyers' penalties, high sticking and a tripping, and then that roughing at the end of the second period where they probably could have taken Connor Garland too. But they, coming into tonight, had taken 22 minor or bench penalties, 15 of them, 15 tripping, slashing, high sticking, and hooking. That is just moving your feet and being in control of your stick.
Yes.
If you're in position to defend, if you're in control of your stick, those things will not happen. Then you look like one roughing, one delay a game, like Morgan Frost intercepted a pass, made a nice defensive play, and then immediately fired it into the stands when he tried to clear it. It was like, all right, well, he giveth, he taketh away.
Yeah.
But like one instigator on the Forster fight a couple of games ago, too many men in the first game. Like, all right, it's the first game. There was a bad change, whatever. Like, these are things that you can just go, all right, we wash that away. Stick penalties like this that they've been taking, and they took 2 more tonight, both Hathaway, a high sticking and a tripping. So that's 17 of their 25 minor penalties are just avoidable stick minors. Stop it. Like, these are the things that I just need to see cleaned up. I just need to see execution. They're going to be, like, outgunned most nights.
Yeah.
Because, again, they're rebuilding. And why? Because they don't have enough good players. But you got to have some jam. They left it on the plane tonight.
Yeah. No, and it's interesting to kind of, like, look at this because, look, I wonder if, because like we've seen them in the years before, they start off really quick. That's been their MO. Like they start off quick. They're one of the hottest teams to off the jump. And obviously this year, dude, the attention to detail has not been there. Like we've seen, especially like tonight, a lot of sloppy play. And like, I was just wondering maybe they're just trying to get their, the gears going, or, especially early on in the year, not start off the season guns a-blazing. I mean, defensively, Aarson, I thought he looked solid tonight, but he had no help.
No.
Whether defensively or you just talked about all the shots that we had on goal. I mean, we couldn't buy a goal tonight, Bill. The amount of shots. Owen Tippett himself. Holy crap.
Yes, Kevin Lankinen played a good game as he did in Vancouver in the opener.
Well, was he really tested tonight?
But yeah, like when Travis Konechny gets a beautiful setup from Matvei Michkov in the low slot on the power play, and he airmails it. Like, all right, that you didn't test him. You never even tested him there. And I think Konechny hit a post on an odd man rush. It's not just an Owen Tippett problem. Like, this stuff is happening way too much, and they just need to tighten. Like, what was it? Knocked up. Like, and then once you have that, baby, you need to tighten. Yeah, like that's what we need to see this team do. Is just like tighten it up. They just haven't. They've been a little off. The passing is just nowhere near where it needs to be. The ability to hit the net on their good chances, nowhere near where it needs to be. And the defensive zone coverage is all over the place. I expect a John Tortorella team to be disciplined.
Yeah,
they just in no realms, like whether it's execution on offense, defense, or penalties, we're not seeing any sort of discipline.
Dude, I'm still, like you talking about that, like I'm still envisioning Eric Johnson Sitter. Dude, that was the clearest opportunity. Like, wide open.
And Coots had a couple right in front.
Yeah.
Like the biggest challenge thus far through 5 games is the Flyers versus the open net. They just haven't been able to hit it so far.
Great
Maybe
rivalry.
these things come around. Maybe it's just like a whole bunch of bad luck, and that means a 10-game winning streak because they shoot 40% is around the corner. But like, it's not an inspiring start to the season.
No.
So
they're not even playing
far.
it like with intensity. That's something that we saw when they were really good last year. You saw the intensity, physical, and the attention to detail.
The lack of physicality is like there was a couple nice hits tonight, but it felt like in the first half of last season there was a hit on every shift.
Yeah, man.
If they didn't have the puck, they were hitting. I'm just not seeing that yet.
No, and that's something that they're going to obviously look. That was their MO last year, and like you're still going to have to like even though like you have some good young talent, you're still going to have to play that style of play because you still don't have a lot of top end talent. So they're going to have to clean it up, and especially if you want, especially against Washington, we know they're a little bit older, dude. You got to come out with some physical play.
We all silly like the mayor.